Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with the occasional review. Planning has always been my way of working out problems and solving the day-to-day issues in my life. Join me as I experiment on how to best tackle projects, figure out how to stick with habit tracking, and celebrate the wins, both big and small. So grab a cup or a glass of whatevs and let's get on with the video. Hey planner friends, so it's been a while. Basically it's been a while because I haven't really had the time to film, and I didn't know what I'd film anyway because I haven't done any planning. Here's the thing. Jay took some time off for both of my nephews' graduations, one from high school, one from college, and one was in town and one was out of town. We went to Denver for 4 days for my nephew Johnny's college graduation. He graduated with his master's, and this was the first time I've traveled in Colorado where I wasn't going to basketball, where basketball was not the main focus. Can you believe it? I can't, because I don't leave my house for anything else. We went to the zoo because that was my one thing that Jade picked. My one thing was I wanted to go to Denver and I wanted to go to Johnny's graduation. Jade picked to go visit his aunt and his cousin. His cousin's like 6 months. They're like 6 months apart. And he hadn't seen them since he was 6 years old. So they had moved to Colorado, I think right before COVID. Then COVID hit and his aunt came to have surgery where her son could help take care of her. And so she couldn't travel to us. It's like about 7.5 to 8 good hours to Denver from where I live, even though I live in Colorado. So we don't go very often, and it's a kind of a shit drive. I'm going to be honest with you. In winter, it's worse. In summer, it's just a really boring drive. There's like 4 good hours of just utter boringness. But we went, and so I didn't do a lot of planning before we left. So here, I think the last time I was in here was in April. You can see that this is a little bit more filled out. In May, I took a break from my Hobonichi Weeks, and so it's pretty plain, obviously. I filled out a few things at the beginning. So at the end of the month is when Isaac had his high school graduation, and that was here. So we started painting our cabinets and trying to refinish our cabinets, and if you've ever done that, it's a nightmare. I will never do it again. I will pay someone to do it because... yeah, it was mostly a nightmare too because the weather here in Colorado, and especially in my area, it's rained every day. Every day. Unlike the rainforest, you cannot set your clock to it. Can you set your clock to it in the rainforest? I feel like that's the thing. Maybe not. But here, it was just a nightmare. And it would rain in these little pockets of rain here and there. And I was like, oh my gosh. And we needed to be outside to paint all of the cabinets. And it was just a freaking nightmare. We had to have days off where we did other things. We were trying to do yard work, which made it a nightmare as well. Because we live in a jungle because it's been raining so much. And we couldn't cut the grass because of the rain and everything was wet. So anyway, I digress. How is your summer going? Are you getting stuff done? I mean, stuff got done. I just didn't have to plan it because, well, you had to go day to day to decide what you could do and what you couldn't do. I think I'm going to go back to a Hobonichi Weeks because everything is predated and I just don't have the energy for the rest of this month to sit down and draw things out and figure them out. This is simple and easy. I miss writing down what I've read and what day I read it on, what day I finished it on. I like doing stuff like that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and set up the rest of June. We are currently on, well, tomorrow will be week 25, so I'll start there. So we only have 2 more weeks left of June. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to set up these 2 weeks in this video. And then the 1st and the 2nd of June fall within week 26. Of July. So for us planner people, that means that One Book July is coming up. I did go to Barnes & Noble while I was up in the city. And I did pick up a new Leuchtturm notebook. So I might go ahead and do One Book July. That sounds interesting. I miss having my notebook, the Traveler's Notebook. I don't know if it got a fair shot or not because I really wasn't planning a lot and I got busy doing housework. When Jay's on his staycation, this is the time I had to use him, to utilize him rather, and I did that instead. Let me know if that happens to you guys as well with your partners. You're like, okay, I'm taking time off. What can we do? What kind of project can we get into? So normally the way I set this up is like this. I have my schedule on one side, memories or like some type of note of the day on the right, and then I have sections here, so I'm tracking. This was morning routine and stuff, and I found that this was just not interesting to me. I might not keep that. I have my reading list here. I like to write down what I am reading throughout the week and then check off what days I read what. That just helps me keep track of things. And then I have my to-dos. Over here, I usually write down what book I finished and when I finished it. A movie, because I try to read a book a month. That's what that's about. And then movies over here that we watched, TV shows. This was for Duolingo, which I have completely fallen off on, especially my vocabulary. And then a little health tracker here, just overall how I feel like I did 1 out of 5 for the week. And then a small review. Now, you remember I was also in a Moleskine Weekly, and it has a similar setup with a week on one side, memo on the other. I was using this for a while as like the one thing I wanted to learn for the week. And I was taking notes and writing down stuff that I wanted to figure out. At some point I tried to use my planning, the same planning I do in here, and it was okay. It's not that it's small. I just never carry this around, and I can't figure out why for the life of me. I don't. But I don't. I usually keep a little sticky note here with all the stuff I'm reading so I can move it week to week and not have to rewrite it so many times. Yeah, but I wasn't using this for anything, and I'm just gonna let it rest there for a while because I might come back to it by the end of the year. And I can't believe we're already at the midpoint. Like in 2 weeks or a week and change, we're gonna be in July, and that is the midpoint of the year. Also the beginning of the 3rd quarter of the year. Can you believe it? I know. What are my goals? I need to go and look those up and figure that out. So now I was in this. Remember, this was my standard Foxy Fix. This is the Wildflower collection in the color Amber. Had 4 inserts in here. So this was my monthly. And it looked like this. This is May. Here we are in June. Haven't really done much other than put the staycation and the Denver trip and happy birthdays. Because again, we're halfway through and I haven't done anything in here. The next insert we had, and I have a whole setup of this. I filled out all of this. Well, I prepped it anyway. I didn't fill it out. Yeah, but it's there. This was supposed to be short-term and long-term notes. I think short-term over here, long-term over there. Yeah, and this was supposed to be my vocab. I was going to keep it all in one section. Never did anything with it. Back of the zippy pouch. And then the 4th insert is not on a string of any kind. This is a 1 string, 1 elastic TN, and I have these piggybacked together. That's in the setup. The 4th one just sits in the back here. And yeah, here's May. I filled this guy out, draw them out. I decided not to read this book right now, The Haunting of Hill House. I try to read it at least once a year because it's one of my favorites. And then these 3 I did read, and I didn't even bother filling in these little progress bars. I did plan in here. Towards the end of May, I fell off because we got busy and started doing the cabinets and working on graduations. And yeah, haven't planned since. I do feel a little bit dirty, I'm not going to lie. It is what it is. And so, yeah. All right, I guess I'm going to set this guy up for the rest of June and make an executive decision whether or not I'm going to do 1 book July. You can still do 1 book July in something like this, of course. But I just kind of think by the time June is over and our birthday week is over, because my birthday is here and Jay's birthday is here, I'm going to be ready to just be calm. The kitchen will be finished for right now, and I'll have some free time to write. It's also Camp NaNoWriMo in July. They have 2 camps, one in one in April and one in July. And so it's a great month for me to pick up writing and planning again, because hopefully it'll be a little bit slower. Usually my summer is not this overwhelming, but that's definitely the word that I would use for what's been going on. Cool. So I'm going to set this up and then I'll be back. Okay, so the monthly is done. Very simple. I need to check off a couple more days there. And then the weekly, week 25 and week 26 are all filled out. And this is what I'm going to be working on for the next couple of weeks till the end of June. And I'll be back with another video hopefully when things have mellowed out a little bit more and I can set up my bullet journal possibly for July. Also, hopefully I get some books read and listened to. Who knows? All right. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!